I'm sitting here awaiting the star of the show.
Star of the show.
And here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
If you want one, there's that.
Oh, thank you.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So, are we rolling, Jimmy?
Yes, we are rolling.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Right, so we go, Ishmael. One again. Okay.
What do you got there?
There's a cheese. You want one?
No.
Do you like these little guys?
Oh, those little...
They're a waste of
mini
resources.
Goudas?
Yeah, this one is actually just the regular Baby Bell. All right, so we're talking about... Got some snow today here in the Chicagoland.
Mm-hmm.
It's January, what is it, January?
26, I believe. Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
26 already, man.
It's January 26th.
The days are getting longer.
1986, the Super Bowl. Was that January 26, 1986?
I don't remember the exact
The
date.
28th or 6th?
Somewhere around.
Cold as hell.
Yeah.
And then one was a 44 and it's 46 to 10. Look at that.
Well, I think football's a load of bollocks.
Oh my God. Is he in a robe?
Yeah, he's in a robe.
It's like the robe they wore when they did the drag.
We should tell about what that is. That's Bonzo at Earl's Court just before they play
What night
Whole Lot of Love. I think it was the 24th. Can't believe I remember all this kind of details, but yeah, May 24th.
The second to last
the
night.
penultimate night.
Yeah,
of
the penultimate.
Earl's Court. Bonzo comes strolling out in a robe.
Before the show or after?
No, it's right before Whole Lot of Love, right before the encore.
Oh.
And he grabs the mic and he says, I just would like to say at this point that football's a load of bollocks.
And everyone goes, you're...
And Plant is like laying on the drum riser, like eating an orange or something. Plant says, I think it's the best sport. Something like that.
Yeah, he loved it.
Regardless of what Bonzo says.
Yeah, regardless of what Bonzo says. Yeah, think about being on top of the world there. At the frickin' Earl's Court. They had to get out of there after that, right?
They had to hightail it out because of taxes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tax exile time.
And then after that, they did the...
At some point,
can we please get Bonzo's Montreux without any electric treatment? Just give
I
us
would
just
love to hear
recording
the
drums.
outtakes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be incredible, man? To hear, like, the isolated attempts or, even the final track, but, like, all the stuff leading up to it. Where are those tapes?
You definitely hear...
The bass drum?
You'd hear, like, that stuff on separate tracks.
Oh, you would hear it, for sure.
Oh, yeah, in different tracks, it'd be like he'd be hitting,
Yeah. So, anyway... So it's good to be here, man. We've been talking about doing
It's been a while, my friend.
Fireside chat.
It's a fireside chat.
And people have been asking when we're going to do another video, so it's a long time coming.
Well, it is. And
you have a very nice front room, by the way.
This is it. This is where...
It's very arts and crafts, I would say.
It is, and this is the room
Semi-Victorian, but little post-Victorian.
Post-Victorian.
And you have a genuine Tiffany lamp here, right?
That is actually from Tiffany.
It's from the hand of Mr. Tiffany.
Tiffany, Africa, the small country.
Oh.
It's made out of diamonds and rubies and emeralds.
And plexiglass.
And plexiglass. And it's heavy, so if we need to defend ourselves, we can bash somebody's head in with it.
Wow.
All right. There's one of them. That's yours. This one's mine.
Now that's what I call home security.
That's home security. All right. So what we have here, this is a 6.5 by 14 Supraphonic late model that I pimped out to make it like an original.
It's a nice looking adaptation,
Isn't it?
You did some modifications on it.
I bought a brand new tone control from Ludwig. Came to me, I drilled the shell, I put it in, and the pad fell off. So the adhesive they were using was inferior in toning.
Get some epoxy out.
Yes. Yeah, I got my.
But it's cool. It's really a cool upgrade that you did to it. I like the strainer, the old school strainer. Is that a P83? I always mix up the numbers. P83, P85 is the later one, right?
Yeah, the P83 and then the P85, which is just the slight change in this guy, and then they changed to plastic or whatever the hell that. But yeah, I put a P83 on it, but that's a standard P83 because the Ludwig logo on it isn't like the more cursive. It's like the 70s.
Oh yes, right.
What do you see on bottom? The thermo,
the connected L and G.
Yeah, L and G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what have you been up to? What are you doing? Are you doing Ty Bear projects?
Yes, but see, Ty's also busy. You know what I mean? Sometimes I just call him and harangue him. I don't mean to do it. Sometimes I'm like, so, what's going on? He's like, well, I'm just, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, all right. How's the music coming? Oh, well, I was listening to it.
I know he's not busy with PFOZ projects because we've been slow getting stuff out, and that's no fault. That's no fault of his. But we're just everybody's got busy lives, you know.
Ty is Mr.
So
deliver the goods and prompt.
It takes time to do all that stuff, but we're working on a couple.
Yeah. But
Ty just killed the Jeff Beck tribute that we did. Man, he recorded that. That was a rush project because after Beck passed away, Pete had the idea. Pete's a huge Jeff Beck fan.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm a big Jeff Beck fan, of course, too. I think we all are. But Pete, Pete was the one who suggested we do a tribute.
Yeah, right.
So we were going to do Shapes of Things, and Ty nailed it like in one day.
Yeah.
I recorded my tracks, sent them to Pete and Ivan. Pete laid down the bass track. Then I had this idea to do Beck's Bolero and insert it in the middle because there's those breaks.
Yeah, right.
Within the
like
form of Shapes of Things. It's like if you stop, just throw another tune.
You made a medley, right?
So we made a medley, basically,
like a piece.
Yeah, and
a concerto.
And that all came together within like a few days, and then Ty just like nailed the vocals, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's not a lot of vocals. There's only a couple verses, basically.
Ty has he naturally sings a little more in a high range, sort of, but he has like that, he has that genuine, if he wants to apply like that strength and rawness, like, but in his real voice.
Yeah.
It's not like a, like,
no.
Like he actually delivers it. You know what I mean? It's not
I think we're gonna hit you up for a PFOZ vocal. Here.
No, but the thing is, he does it. And the thing is in that track, so you can see it. What is it? Put PFOZ Shapes of Things, right, Jeff Beck.
Yeah.
And this will come up when you hear Ty sing on each end because he sings the front and the back. At some points, he sounds just like Robert Stewart, and from that era,
Robert Stewart.
I'm sorry, Rod Stewart. Sorry, Robert Stewart. Rod
Plant.
Yeah, Rod Plant. Plant Rod. No, but he sounds just like him, and then he kind of morphs into Ty.
Yeah,
like you hear the
he
Ty.
He definitely has a quality,
but then
that's distinctively his own.
Yes, but then and he does. And then when he sound. There's actually the tone of Bon Scott. I swear to God, it's and I don't mean Brian Johnson.
I can kind of hear what you mean. Yeah.
There's just a little it's like
there's a quality that's reminiscent.
What is the chorus? What's the song?
Come tomorrow.
When he goes, come tomorrow. But I hear like Bon Scott there.
Yeah, that was a fun video to make, and we got a couple others in the can. We're working on.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Now, is that Levy Breaks?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now you're gonna tell me you'll do that freehand.
Well, I already did it. I actually already recorded the drum part. So
is it freehand? Or did you?
I played along with the record.
Okay.
And it was the video. So it's going to be the same performance that I did for the channel. For Bonhamology.
Yeah.
That I did almost a year ago now, exactly, when I had the steel kit up at that house.
Oh yeah, right.
That someone dubbed Cheesehead Grange.
That is very funny.
I don't know who dropped that one.
That is extremely funny.
That is very clever.
Cheesehead Grange. Yeah.
Kudos to you, sir.
Wait, what was the town you were in? Were you just over the border, or just west?
It wasn't even. It was. I can't even remember the name of the area. It's near Viroqua, Wisconsin. Like kind of out in the what they call the driftless area of Wisconsin. It's like 4 hours away from here. It's west of Madison.
All right, so
between Madison and La Crosse.
Oh shit, that's where you went.
It was just out like in farmland. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Yeah, but
did you make sure you thoroughly buried the bodies after you were finished with what you did? Make sure there's going to be no housing developments.
I took all my cues from your method. So,
honey, where's the duct tape?
But so we've been talking about getting together and just having a chat.
Yeah, no, right. So because we can talk about current stuff. There's remember, so we haven't seen Peisty Bob since the 50s.
Yeah, that's true.
But we've been now. What are your
before the pandemic?
What cymbals are you playing now when you're doing Bonham stuff? We'll pop around here so people can sort of tune out. Let's say a commercial came. Right, that was a commercial for Hostess Cupcakes.
Like Dick Kevin. We do have to acknowledge our sponsor.
Acknowledge our sponsor.
So
Keep the lights on
right
here.
Back to yes, indeed.
To
No, the good thing is we don't have to do that unless YouTube does it for us.
I guess they do.
I might have to set the monetization thing so you don't have. You know what I don't like? So
Fire
speaking
tornado
of
shelter.
YouTube, I don't like having ads pop up during a performance. You know what I mean? Like if it's over a certain number of minutes, you have the option to have ads that interrupt the video.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I always turn that off.
Well, the thing is,
I don't like the fact that in the middle of a song, it just abruptly will cut to an ad. I can't stand it.
No, you're right. The funny thing is that if I have a video where I play and then talk and talk and play and talk, it'll always put those when I'm talking.
Yeah, it finds like a sort of like a natural break point, allegedly. But if it's a performance, it's
right.
It's not good.
It's not good.
Yeah.
But
anyway, ads at the beginning and ads at the end, I think, of course, are cool. But
all right. So what? But so we were thinking about.
So you asked me about cymbals.
Yeah, cymbals.
I'm just using the same stuff.
Okay, what do you got in the old arsenal?
I got the giant beats, and then I got the Black Label 2002s, and then I have a smattering of new 2002s.
Yes.
Like reissues.
Yeah. And
then I have a handful of 602s.
Right.
Couple 24s.
Yeah. 602.
Yeah, these are all old guys.
Yeah, old guys. Yeah.
Pre-serial mostly. One of the 24s has a serial number. I think it's 1973.
Oh yeah, that's you got that one. Is that the one that's?
It's a thin one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's stamped thin.
Yeah. What else does it say on there?
Stamp.
Isn't it like the store, or is that the different one?
I don't remember. It might have the Italian distribution, Sysmate distribution stamp on it.
What's that?
And then I got a concert 20.
Is that like 3,000?
I was inspired by you because you like those concerts.
Oh yeah.
And I found one. This was a few years ago. It's a concert 20-inch that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
And then
There's a bigger hole.
I have an 18. Yes, exactly.
But they're beautiful. I had a pair of 23s.
Yeah, it's cutting. It's got like a real. There's a frequency in there that really cuts.
Yeah, right.
It's a little heavier too. It's not like a real thin one.
Yeah, the bell's slightly smaller in a weird way than you'd normally see in another 602. Slightly.
Maybe, yeah. Like I don't remember.
Or different shape, more straight up.
But you know what I got recently? I got one from you. Is one of those sound reflections, and now I'm hooked.
Yeah, those are.
The 18 is great. I used that on a couple recent videos that are non-Zepp.
Oh yeah, those truly are
the 16 sound reflections and the 18. And I got a pair of 13-inch hats that I use. And I use them on the
original Giant Beat size bells that you also saw on the 505.
Yeah, man, they look just like Giant Beats.
The current Roots. Yeah,
they look like a brilliant Giant Beat.
Yeah, like a more shiny, polished Giant Beat.
Yeah.
More golden color shiny versus like the green, not so shiny. Yeah, but that's what they really are. The lathing is identical.
The lathing looks...
Even
the hammering.
Yeah. But again, the whole size of the bell and the way the bell, the shape.
The contour.
If you take your 2000... 18 sound reflections will fit right in with an original Giant Beat. Perfectly.
I should do that. I didn't do that, but it does look just like it.
So. Even everything.
So,
they're great.
What about you? You got that big red sparkle.
Yeah, I got the big red sparkle.
I gotta go. I haven't been downstairs yet.
We still have. You got to get on those.
I gotta go down there and jam.
Yeah, we do. We got to, and it's cool. I really, really like them. They actually record well, and like. Especially in the mix, like if you have a band playing or something, you just all you have to hear is sort of like a tone difference.
I wonder if right, because
you're
getting the articulation of just the one head, you're not getting that resonant, more of a round sound.
Well,
it's more of an attack, right?
Well, yes, and it's actually in a weird way. It's actually strangely like a slightly. If you close your eyes and just listen to it, it's like a slightly just deader. Visalite sound, kind of. Mm-hmm. You get that same sort of dunk. It's not kind of a dink.
Are they 3-ply or 6-ply?
Oh, these are the 3-ply, but because there's just one hat on it, and what I have on are pinstripes.
Oh, yeah.
And so you get like a dunk.
Classic.
Dunk. Well, yeah, but the funny thing is the pinstripes I've noticed in the past 10 or so years, maybe a little longer, aren't as heavy and dead sounding as. Remember when pinstripes first came out, you were going to get it was going to be pretty dunk. They
always hated them.
Yeah, but the thing is if you ever put them on a drum, they changed it. They're not as heavy as they used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think by pretty significantly.
Yeah.
And
do you remember the Evans oil-filled heads?
I still have some of those.
Do they still make them even?
You know what's funny? They did remake them for a while, but I had some of the original. Remember the gold with the 2 circles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always saw the red was cool.
I thought they looked cool, so I got them when I was in high school, and then I didn't like how they sounded.
Well, in a weird way,
I've always been partially coated.
But you know what's so funny you say about those heads is they were kind of cool on a bass drum.
I bet.
You know what I mean?
Because you get some slap.
Yeah, right? You get some slap, but you still get vibration if you don't have it really muffled, like the boom. So you got boom.
Right.
But they're also good. Do you remember my Magical, the 6.5, the blue Crolite that I brought to the clinic I did in Pennsylvania like 5 years ago, and I raffled it off. But you remember the head that was on it? Remember, it was a great sound.
Yeah, it was like a black head.
It was a Evans. But
it was black.
Black coated, but oil filled.
Oh.
Like it was.
So it gave it like a naturally.
You almost
natural muffling.
You almost didn't even need the tone control. It was
right.
Like it was dead. Like, so, but you could tune it right up to duh. It had like a built-in Bonham sound. I'm gonna find one of those and put that. I regretted not sort of because in a certain way, remember that.
See, I always learn something. Like when we hang out, you have a we all have different ears, but like you're really in tune with like the fine like differences or distinctions between lots of things: cymbals, drums, heads, sticks. I mean, we're talking about your sticks, about these.
Yeah, those sticks.
These are the Bonzoleum 2As, which are available. Is that correct?
Yeah, but I really think, and like I said,
or have you sold out?
No, I have some more of the 2As, but also too, there's a company, ProMark makes a stick that looks that is physically a lot like this.
Yeah.
It's the Buddy Rich. It's painted white.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I know.
I'm not sure if the taper starts as low.
Well, that's
as
what I was
does,
just going to say.
Yeah.
So what I was just going to say.
Cool. Okay.
Was.
Did you see the tiger rope?
This happens a lot.
The quarter saw.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is like you brought this up about the taper starting more toward the middle. And being gradual. That's the key, I think. That's really the key to why this stick feels so good.
Yeah. Right.
Because you get it's got a nice feel in the hand. You know, it's not like you have to grip tight. You know, like with a stick that's thinner, you got to grip tighter.
Yeah.
It changes. To me, it changes. Like when I'm playing jazz, I play thinner sticks.
Right.
But like when I'm playing with a big band, where you have to play stronger and louder. These are my favorite sticks to play with the big band now.
Because you get that rebound, especially.
But you got the meat here, you know.
But you know what's funny?
In the hand. But they have this really nice feel and rebound.
Yeah, right.
They bounce so well because of the taper.
Yeah,
so anyway, I was just saying, like, I don't know if I would have made that discovery, you know, but you notice all this kind of stuff.
Well, part of the thing you would know, people notice to anybody, because like, oh yeah, Bonham, you read that he loved the 2A, and sometimes the 2B, but the 2As.
Yeah.
So over the years, I remember looking back through my, the snare drums you buy, so we get an you can find acros, but not that long for nothing with the case, and they come with the sticks.
$150.
And every so often you'd see 2As. Most of the time you'd see 2Bs, right? But every so often you'd see a pair of 2As. And I had them, I remember looking at them, and I just remember thinking like that girdle, it goes up, and then it comes back a little.
Right.
So, and like you said, like also the taper, like there's no, it's like a magic wand kind of. Like, ding, ding, you know what I mean? Like, yes. But you know what I mean? And I almost think, what's a neat thing about a stick too? I do love the way in a sticks for rock and stuff. Feel when you play the two backwards. It's kind of cool, the front motion there.
Yeah, because it's so much meatier, bulkier here.
Yeah.
So you get that weight.
Well, I have an idea for a stick. I have still ideas for sticks. You know what I mean? I do wish, this one would be really good, the 2A. I think if it was maybe just under a half-inch longer. I mean, I'd still make both.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd call that one XL or whatever.
And I also think if this was just a little thicker...
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't break as easy, because they do break. Okay, so one thing I'm going to say about Bonham.
I actually have a pair here somewhere that I asked him to make a pair like that.
Yeah, I think it would be.
You can take those with you.
But for playing jazz, I'm not going to break these.
Yeah, right.
But playing Zepp and heavy
but they
music,
actually lasted a little while.
These do last. These do last. But like original 2As, they just fly off within a day.
Yeah, and
so
they might have even then too, But
I was thinking about like Mick Hinton, Bonzo's drum tech, who said they would have like a gross of sticks off to the side. If you ever notice, I have never seen a stick bag near Bonham's drums. I never see a stick bag like most people keep it by the floor tom or somewhere. Never see a stick bag.
Is there not a picture of him behind stainless with a stick bag on the 18?
There might be. Okay,
but
I'm talking about like from 69.
No, of course, right? No, I know what you mean. I find
maybe
these,
77.
Yeah, right.
So,
totally. Yeah, no,
Vista lights, green sparkles, the thermogloss.
Yeah.
You never see a stick bag.
No.
So Hinton obviously was nearby with a box of sticks.
Yeah. And the umpire with the baseballs and the baseball.
And he would just had to be handing him sticks.
Totally.
Constantly, because the original 2A tips just go flying off. Yeah. And he also played the Dino Danelli model.
Which is sort of like a
2A. Yeah, it's a 2A, but there's a slight difference.
There's a slight difference, yeah.
But again, like I've played
great
those.
Stick.
I've had the vintage Dino Danelli sticks. Yeah. Tip just flies right off.
But I'll bet if you take the Dino Danelli and give them to a stick maker, possibly who we know are a different guy, and they make an exact replica with modern hickory, I bet they'll last longer.
I would hope so, and maybe a little thicker at the tip.
So
I just wondered that about like Bonzo, how often he was breaking sticks.
Well, every so often, sometimes when you go down the rabbit hole of Zeppelin or whatever, and you go down the pictures, you're like, okay, well,
which we never do.
Well, there's definitely what looks to be like a 2A, but there's also sometimes. A lot of the time, you'll also see him with the stick that almost looks like it might be a Premier or something. Or a Gretsch stick or something.
Well, he's got like a stick that has like sort of a big acorn kind of bead that I've seen in some photos. Early on. That might be a 2B.
Yeah, exactly.
It might just be a 2B because they have that bead. It doesn't look like a 2A, but this is like, I'm talking about like 69.
Yes.
Yeah. But
in any case, even apart from Zeppelin or not, the neat thing is I always thought a stick like this. That's what drew me to it. It was like, a 2A, let me get a 2A. But the funny thing was, even before I had it made, I remember being like, wow, yeah, I guess that and I realized at that point, I didn't realize till after I had one in my hand, I was going to make them, that it does taper down here. It does. It's not the exact same to here, and then deal with the
right,
yeah. So, so before you go, I'm going to lay some of those on because I know you love them. You know what I mean?
I've got a good number of pairs.
Yeah, but like I said, the cool thing is stick turning now is probably like a lot of things. Everybody's making whiskey and stuff now. Everybody makes a great hamburger. I bet there's like shitloads of stick
It's like
turners.
a boutique cymbal maker.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting blanks and making their own cymbals.
But see, the thing is with sticks, what you gotta do... See, this, I could probably... Like, if I learned how to turn sticks and found a good hickory supplier, I wouldn't rule out making them and selling myself. But the thought of having somebody make them and you got to pay their price wholesale or whatever. Then you pay to have $60 that they're all shipped to you, and they come or not 60. I'm sorry, 25 or whatever. And and they come and stuff. And I mean, if I could be outside, like. But the cool thing about these is whatever lacquer or finish he puts on them works great.
That's another thing.
It's a grip.
Yeah, I like when a stick has a lot of lacquer and he'll do like extra lacquer.
You know what, too? Imagine, too, sometimes, and you told me this, I think they do. You say sometimes what drummers used to do is they get lacquer and sometimes dip their sticks in it.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So I have a stick that just for that ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, so the bead doesn't get all splintery and frayed out.
But you also still get attack. It almost temporarily acts sort of like a slight
like a plastic
nylon
tip. Yeah.
I hate the nylons.
I don't. I mean, like, it depends on the kind of music, and the room. Sometimes you need nylon sticks playing in a room where it's real.
No, I guess that's... Well, you know what I always used to have when I'd be bashing away? The tip would go off, and I'd dent the shit out of all my heads with it.
Sharp. Yeah. But I mean, like playing jazz, like nylon can be nice for some cymbals.
There's a fair amount of people I've seen do, and also used to do this too, is Cymbaholic. You remember Bill Hartrick?
Yeah.
He used to get pairs of nylon tip sticks, and he'd pull them off, and then he'd file sand to make it just so it was soft.
I know drummers who
do right, and it's actually kind of sounds cool. It can,
Yeah, I hate the feel of that, though. That little teeny tip on it.
Well, there's a bounce. Yeah, there's I don't know, it's weird. There's a different feel to it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so you get a nice casa, man.
Yeah, so this is it. This is where it all happens.
It all happens downstairs.
Yeah, it's
the washing and the drying and the
I just had to do so. Anyway, so all right, so
your basement been cool actually? No floods or anything?
Well, here's the thing. Well, here's the thing. We are very close to the. We're not even technically on it. Or at least the floodplain as they commissioned it in 1934 or whatever, which will probably...
Oh, wow.
Maybe with climate change...
You get water in your basement.
Well, yeah, because a couple things. there's a lot of clay here. You know what I mean? There's also, I think, underground springs in Riverside.
Yeah.
But what happens is if the water table comes up. And when the water table comes up, I just get little stream. You know, they're like little, eighth of an inch, just little slight flows of water
that start coming.
Yeah, and it goes to the sump pump hole and it goes out, you know?
Yeah.
Creeks. But to last, if it can last 4 or 5 days, well, 2 or 3 days depending on how much rain we got.
But you thinned out a lot of your gear, right? Your collection.
I sold off like 80% of stuff.
Wow,
all that
really?
extra shite I had.
So you got the new Sonics.
I have.
You got the assorted. You got the Vista Lights.
The Vista Lights.
You got the assorted striped drums,
sparkle stripe,
which are the love of your life.
I love the stripe look.
Yeah.
And I also then have the red sparkle
the 10-piece or whatever, the octopus. Yeah.
So what I'm probably gonna do, I know people probably be like, oh no, don't do it, but I might sell off the 18. If somebody local, you know what I mean?
Oh,
it's a 3-ply red sparkle 18 because I already have 14, 15 concert. And maybe the way I'd like to do it would be all like Phil Collinsy. Have the 15, 16 there right in front of me. The 12, 13 up here, the 8, 10 or what and but. I do
3-ply 18 sounds so good though.
I love an 18 floor tom.
Do you have an 18 3-ply floor tom?
Well, I have yes. The 16 by 18, that's what the red sparkle is.
No, I mean another one.
Well, a 3-ply anymore?
Yeah. I like just setting up the 18 as a 4-piece. Like the old Bonham, the original Bonham maple setup.
Well, I sometimes what I'll do is even on a 2213, sometimes I'll put an 18 with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of you get out of the rack tom, you tune that 13 up to like bum.
Yeah.
And the floor tom goes dong.
Yeah, you get a really nice spread.
You get a nice spread, and it's but again, I mean it
just sounds so good. They record, they record so well.
But I also have that 12 by 17 tenor drum red sparkle. That has the long.
You still have it?
I still have that. So what I might do is
buying that from you.
Well, I was thinking if I did keep, what I'd do is keep the floor, keep that.
Is it red sparkle or gold?
It's red.
Oh yeah.
It has the long.
I would use that as a bass drum.
Well, remember, I still have it if you want it.
Yeah, that would be a great gigging bass drum for
but how would you get? You'd have to. The added expense of getting hoops made. For
have to
17.
get hoops made.
Yeah, maybe these days with all the craft people do.
Yeah.
But the 12 by 15, the 12 by 17 tenor drums make great tom-toms.
Mm-hmm.
They're unbelievable.
Yeah.
I for a long time I had a 22, 13, 12 by 15 as a floor tom. Long time.
I had a 15 by 12 Gretsch maple. It was a really beautiful drum. I ended up selling it though, but I used it as a floor tom because when I acquired it, it had Gretsch diamond plates on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 3 diamond plates.
Of course,
Somebody modified it for a floor tom. It was a 15 by 12, and it sounded great.
Wow.
What do you think of 20 by 12 bass drums? Or 22 by 12?
I think it's kind of cool. I think that...
I like them.
I
like that there's a fast response, because it's a shallower drum.
Well, herein lies the thing. If you had... Well, if you have... Let's say you're somewhere, right? And you didn't know, and here's a drummer playing a 26 by 14. And you thought to yourself, technically, if you want a smaller version of that, you scale both down.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. So that 26 by 14 might come a 22 by 13.1 or whatever, or 12 by
22 by 13, 20 by 12.
Yeah, and I just remember not that long ago, I'd see the footage of Mitch Mitchell playing. I think he had a Black Panther 22 12 deep.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I
had a 2212 when I was young.
Well, Ginger Baker, too, had a couple different Silver Sparkle kits. One of them were 14, I think 22 by 14, 20 by 14. But I think one of the kits he had, both were 12 inches deep.
Oh, wow.
One of the early ones, maybe.
I like this the feel of it. It's very responsive.
Mm-hmm. But it also moves that air. What happens is it's like in a shallower bass drum, that attack happens, right? And that bass drum head starts moving the air within the drum.
Yeah.
And then it hits and reacts with that head, and then moves out. In a shallower bass drum, that it hits, you get, you can't measure the time, but you get instantaneous sending of that wave. But also too, it's not a lower. It affects the tone too because it's shallower.
Right.
It's a different sound.
Yeah. I love it. It's a real punchy sound. Yeah.
It's like a whump.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like something. It's the
Gesundheit.
Yeah, right. And whump. Well, that's at the bottom. But I was just thinking about that's like the era of that sound. It wasn't just bottom. There's all kinds of clips of bands from like 67, 68 to like 71, 72 on a stage somewhere.
Yeah.
And the guitars are real raw, but the drums sound like there might be a felt in the bass drum. There are. But otherwise, it just sounds like the drums are tuned up.
Yeah.
You see Faces.
Dong, dong, dong.
Totally. You see Pink Floyd. I saw this clip of Pink Floyd on a
Nick
stage.
Mason.
1969.
Yeah.
He's behind a set of premieres here, and they're totally open. And the sound on that stage is so cool. Like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's real rich and heavy, like live at Leeds. Like that low.
Absolutely.
Boom, boom, like that. It has that body to it. And, but the funny thing is, I was thinking about this today. This is what we can talk about. Imagine if Bonham in those days, for whatever reason, the only hits he could ever play, at least in the short run, maybe till he adapted. But like, if you listen to Bonham playing, like if you somehow had the ability to have, and you probably could do it with computers, is to have Bonham sitting at Madison Square Garden. You keep the sound of the cymbals, right? Or you could change the sound of the cymbals. But how it would sound on like a 1982, like 10 pillows in the bass drum, totally dead toms, and Evita Zildjians.
Yeah.
Like, if you could somehow go through that and just compare.
Like if he was playing on some other drummer's kit.
Yeah, on some other drummer's kit.
What was the drummer's name from Triumph?
Gil something?
I can't think of his
Taylor
name.
or something?
I can't think of his name right now. But
like
that kind of, like silver dots with dead ringers.
Oh, yeah.
Big open holes. I mean, even Cozy had a big open hole in his bass drum usually, right? And he was playing black dots, and I don't know if he muffled up, though.
Well, I think, what started to happen early, which then culminated in later years with drummers, with the sound men adding click to the bass drum.
Yes.
So you can differentiate the bass drum strokes.
Right.
Really early, if you listen to drummers playing bass drum here, the earlier Bonham or Buddy Rich or anybody, when those things are open, even if they're slightly muffled, Ginger Baker, all you hear is boom, 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 boom.
Right.
But if you then deaden it and put a hole in it, you get more like.
That's right.
You get more tap, and that's what that whole. They were just going. That's
the shift was to that.
The shift was to that because the style was changing.
Well, I did a couple covers recently. One of them I posted, Scatterbrain. The Jeff Beck tune.
Yeah.
Sort of in honor of Jeff Beck, and I got another one that's going to post soon from the same record. But the drummer on that record is Richard Bailey, and we were talking about him a little bit. Man, I never really knew anything about him, but I had that album in high school, and I remember like thinking, wow, this guy's got great chops, and like it was beyond at that time it was like fusion drumming.
Yeah.
I was into Bonham and Mitchell and Peart and Ian Pace. Those were like
the fusion had that jazz sensibility slightly.
But very dead drums. Like if you listen to that record, the drums have that really muffled, dry,
Well, is it?
And the bass drum's real, just.
Does that also have blow by blow?
Yeah, that is blow.
No, I'm sorry. Wait, hang on. No, I'm sorry, not blow by blow. What's Freeway Jam? What record?
Yeah, that's on there, I believe. Yeah.
I love the beginning, like when he's fooling around the.
Every song's not every song, but a lot of the songs have little drum like noodle intros.
It's almost like they sat around and had 2-inch tape on for like 3 days. And finally went back and said, "All right."
And he's just like doodling around. It's okay, let's count it off.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is that guy was 18 years old when that was recorded.
Bailey,
possibly 17. Yeah, I think he says he was 17 in an interview.
The funny thing is, I think I said in the text I might have met him one time. I didn't. I was thinking of a different British guy.
Oh, okay. Well, he was raised in Trinidad. He's from Guyana. He was born in British Guyana, but raised in Trinidad, and then on the scene in London as a young person. He was like real precocious. Like when he was 15, 16, he started doing, sessions.
Wow.
Played with Jimmy Cliff. Jimmy Cliff.
I recognize the name.
Jamaican singer. And I think Bob Marley was actually playing in the band at that time for a short while.
Yeah.
Early 70s. So when he made that record with Beck, it's just phenomenal, man.
What year is that record from? 76?
No, it's earlier. I think it's like 74.
Did Simon Phillips play back at some point too?
Yeah, he did, definitely, yeah. But what I was going to say about all that was, like, I was listening to it and kind of preparing to do the recording, and I had the steel kit set up. I still have it set up.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, these drums sound so different than the recording.
Oh, yeah, right.
What should I do? Should I deaden everything and muffle? And I thought, no, fuck that. I'm just going to,
that's how it would sound on the bottom kit, yeah.
And I think it sounds so good.
Fucking
those steel drums, I tightened them up.
Yeah, but you're also a great drummer, dude. You also playing.
Oh, well, thank you. But I wanted to change the tone a little bit because I had them tuned a bit lower.
Yeah.
So I tightened them up, and I think the steel drums sound fantastic. They're
like
tighter.
Like boom.
Yeah, they're like dong, but they're not real bright.
No, I know what you mean.
They have
there's a warmth.
They have a real warmth. Yeah.
See, that's the funny thing.
Yeah.
I to be honest, the only stainless I ever had, and I always kind of give them a hard time because the stainless I had was a 22, 12, 13, 16. 16 was a regular floor tom. The 12, 13 were concert toms.
Oh yeah.
And the bass drum, and when I played them, the heads were dead, and I ended up just installing lugs on the bottom. I sold them to somebody. I said, well, I double head them if you want them, and I sold them away.
Oh wow.
I should have kept them.
Did you do all that drilling yourself?
Yeah, I just but no, it was total half-assed. You looked at them, they look fine. I just, you do, you take everything off, you line the hole up with masking tape, measure the hole, just be like, but the funny thing was when I never really played a true, properly tuned stainless until I went to, there were those Dunnett shelled Ludwigs that came out, they're stainless, and I sat down and I played them and I couldn't believe just the warmth. Yeah. It was almost like the tone you'd almost get if there was a tightly tuned rubber cloth on a timpani, but it was rubber. You hit it with the stick, and you wouldn't get a tone, but you
see. This is what I mean about the detail that you.
No, but you almost hear it like a whoa.
Exactly.
So it has a whoa with the tone.
Yeah.
Dong.
Exactly.
Dong. But it's not
there's
barky.
A cloud.
It's not trebly.
There's a puffiness.
Yeah, a puffiness. A pillowy. Boom, boom. And you hear it. You realize you hear that all over,
and you feel it. It's also a feel thing.
Yeah.
They feel really.
Like they
have
give.
They have
give. And that's so
they
funny.
Feel
man.
so good to play.
Yeah.
So then I use those sound reflections.
Yeah.
I set those up. You know
the Neo giant beats, original spec bell, everything.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just really like that sound. So, but I'm probably going to take that set down soon. I made a bunch of videos with it recently, but
you still have it now set up as. Are you getting hungry at some point? Did you want to eat something, or are you? Good?
Yeah, we should scarf.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, all right. So let's do this. Let's think a lot of big. All right. So yeah. So you have that. You said you're dropping this cover, which is what? It's coming down the pipeline.
Which one?
The Scatterbrain?
Oh, it's another song from the album.
Another. Okay. Yeah. So you want to keep that a surprise?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's coming down. Is it Freeway? Is it Freeway Jam?
No, it is not.
I love
it. Features some funky clavinet playing by a very famous artist,
John Paul Jones,
who's
terrific.
Who's uncredited on the album. People who know the album will know what tune it is based on. So. But yeah, it's a funk out jam.
That's totally cool.
It's short, you know.
No, good, man. That's good.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to give that guy a shout, man. Richard Bailey.
Yeah, geez. Richard Bailey.
And he got that beat. I think. I mean, Richard Bailey might watch this and go, "No, I didn't. Billy Cobham got it from me." But I think he got that beat from Billy Cobham. There's a track that somebody hit me to. They said, "Oh, that's the groove on Virtual Information." I think is the track.
Oh, and that's
of
you talk about the one that's
Inner Mounting Flame or something.
Freeway Jam or the other one?
No. Scatterbrain.
What's the groove there?
Scatterbrain. Oh no, I can't. It's like a 9/8, twisted groove.
Oh yeah, no. I was wondering if you just tap.
Let's see. It's like
or even on your leg.
That's it.
Oh, I know.
So it's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's subdivided like a bar of 4 and a bar of 5.
Yeah, right.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah. That's totally cool.
And that's what Billy Cobham plays on this.
Does it have kind of like that?
It's a paradiddle. There's like a paradiddle thing going on with it. but he breaks it up between the hi hat and anyway, it's a bitch of a groove. And when someone told me that that's a Billy Cobham groove, I was like, oh, okay, because that I think that was recorded before Scatterbrain.
Yeah, right.
And Jeff Beck was really into what Mahavishnu were doing at the time. Mahavishnu Orchestra. What was it called? Vital Information, I think.
Vital Information, I know, is the name of that project that Steve Smith had.
Man, I hope I'm not getting the wrong name then. Jesus. You're right. Virtual. No, it's virtual. I can't remember the name of the track. Forgive me, YouTube land and John McLaughlin lovers everywhere. I can't remember the name of that track, but it's virtual something. But I believe it's on Inner Mounting Flame. It's Mahavishnu Orchestra. It's Billy Cobham, and goddammit, it's an extremely similar beat in 9/8. I mean, it can't be a coincidence that he came up with the same beat. However, I think Bonham must have been hip to what was going on with Mahavishnu, with Billy Cobham.
I'm sure.
He loved Alphonse Mouzon. Supposedly, Robert Plant says it in an interview not that long ago. He said he loved Alphonse Mouzon, and he loved jazz fusion, and you can hear those changes. You can hear those changes take place in his drumming.
Yeah, right.
As the years go on, after 73.
Yeah, right.
Like 75. The way he would play certain things in the jam on Dazed and Confused, where he's up there going ding 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 ding, almost like a Peart kind of beat.
Yeah.
Compared to like the.
Oh, I like at the end of the phrases. Ding 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 bam.
Right.
Boom boom.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And he'd also play it on the toms.
It's just a parallel thing.
Just the same.
That's right.
But it's kind of like the.
But it's flirting with the jazz fusion.
Yeah. Oh, you know what's cool is it blah 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 blah. One of those recordings is like. He does a little cool jazz flourish.
Yeah.
It's soft. You expect it to be loud, and it's soft, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I used to mess around with that.
But I mean, it's interesting to me to see like all the interconnectedness between all this stuff. Like when you're, when I was young, I didn't really associate Jeff Beck and Blow by Blow and Wired with, Zeppelin or Stevie Wonder or like all these disparate. But but they're all they're related. The producer of Blow by Blow is George Martin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he produced the Mahavishnu stuff.
Right.
I mean,
no, but that, I mean,
one
that's
of the most famous producers, in England, obviously.
Right.
But Beck was, no doubt, was like, I'm getting George Martin because I'm hearing this, this sound now. And I think later, I read it in an interview, like he later not regretted, but he wasn't too thrilled with that phase. No, with that phase.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Like he kind of felt like he was being pushed in that direction by Max Middleton or some of the guys he was playing with.
Yeah, right.
Like he wanted to rock a little harder.
Yeah, right.
And they were like, they wanted to shred. So Jeff, kind of.
Let me ask you this: from your experience, I've never really listened to any, but you remember the band like Beck, Bogert, and a Piece or whatever?
Yeah,
what was that stuff like?
That was more rockish.
But how?
But it had a prog, vibe to it.
Yeah, right.
But I really don't remember a lot of that music, man. I listened to that music. The last time I think I probably listened to Beck, Bogert, and a Piece was in the 80s. I mean, really.
BBA.
I mean, I've listened to a tune here or there.
Right.
But I had those albums, and I had the live album with Jan Hammer, which is killer. That's ridiculous. And they play Scatterbrain at such a...
Oh, really?
Oh, they play it at a tempo that's just like, hyperspace. Speed warp tempo.
Isn't it funny how they bang that stuff out, man?
Well, and they were playing it all the time, and they had it in their fingers.
Yeah, that's true. If you do it, yeah.
That was the thing I noticed too. Like when I decided to do that cover, I thought Scatterbrain's a challenging song, probably the most challenging song on that record.
Yeah, right.
And so I prepared for it a little bit, but I'm not playing it on a regular basis. A lot of that stuff, like these guys, it's so impressive, but you have to remember they were playing all the time.
Oh, how old was he? 18? That's the thing.
That kid, he was a kid. Cobham was what, 25?
Yeah, but that's amazing. But I'm just gonna say though too. Yeah, I mean that goes. But everybody feels that way. I mean,
it's true. It's like if you're playing with a band. Are you playing with anybody at the moment?
I'm jamming with some local guys
here.
Do something? Yes, it's nice to be playing with two human beings, free form again.
In a room.
It's been in a room. It's been so long. There's I'm going through the little phases like at first.
What drums did you use?
Overfills, and this is so great.
Yeah. What drums did you use?
There's a studio kit there that I have played in the past, which is a Maple Custom Yamaha, which is more dead tuned. But the last time I brought my new Sonics, I brought my 2012-14 new Sonics, black.
Oh, nice.
The original gloss bag, black. They're beautiful. The snare I had was, what snare did I bring?
Did you bring that super light?
I brought the I have that 70 that 19 I have brought it before, but I have a 1970 unserial Ludwig acrolite that came with bow ties. I took the bow ties off and I put on.
Oh yeah, you sent a picture of that.
Now those Imperials are the late 50s, early 60s Imperials. So they're real heavy and they have a slightly different aesthetic.
See, here we go. Case in point.
No, but they do.
I had no idea about this.
No, but it's true. What I do with my phone, I'll show you.
How did you learn this stuff?
Dude.
Did you go to some university for?
No, but you know what it is?
Drum
history? There was a lot of years of.
You should be on faculty.
Well, buying drums and then so this is a chrome or brass. In those days,
you have an eye for that. That takes a special eye to notice that kind of, I mean, all the years I've been playing, I don't know if I would have noticed the Imperial lugs from 58 to 64 have, this slightly different contour on the third line of,
But you know what the thing is? It's actually, to me, a relatively noticeable thing if you think about it. Like the original Imperial was designed by the Kahn people. Ludwig had already sold. Like that particular Imperial Kahn design, Ludwig did. When he got the company back, he got that.
Oh.
So he then used the original design. The thing is in Leedy and Ludwig and Ludwig and stuff, the lugs that they made that look just like that, they're usually nickel, not chromium.
Yeah.
This whole spacing was actually 2 inches. A perfect 2 inches.
I should check. I have an old Ludwig snare from the 40s.
Well, double check
and it has Imperials.
See if it has a perfect.
And they do look different.
Yeah, and those screws, right? And they look like screws, like 1940s brass.
Exactly.
So, but the thing is that when they decided to do the Super Ludwig, which we then known as the 400, but remember they were brass
before it became.
They used the exact design of the Leedy and Ludwig like that. It looks the exact same from the outside, but it has nipples.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To go on the shelf. But also, too, the whole space is 2 and 3/16 versus 2 inches.
Yeah.
They changed that.
Yeah.
So what I did was since the whole spacing on my Acron, that's all 2 and 3/16. I had some extra lugs from a chrome. I had a chrome brass Supra with the shell was all messed up. I ended up selling the shell for what I paid for it. I had the hoops left over. I sold the pair of hoops for like $100. And I sold 2 of the lugs for around $20 a piece. I kept the 8. And I put them on that Acro. And I love the way Imperials look on an Acro. I have a black row that actually has modern Imperials on it. But this is an acrolite that's frosty. You know, the nice frosty?
Yeah.
And it has the old school. I can show you.
Yeah, see, this is an aesthetic thing. You love this.
Now, stay right there.
I mean, I like hearing about it. I don't know if I would.
No, let me do this. So let me shoot. This is your phone. Where's my phone?
Let's do Dick Cavett here. We'll do it.
We're
going to.
In case somebody calls, hang on to that.
For our sponsors, so keep the lights on.
No, but what I'll do is I'll send you a picture of some pictures I have of a Superphonic. One has the regular, more modern style that was generally used from like 62 to now. They changed it a couple of times in there. I'm
going to have to redirect here because we were talking about the recording or the session.
Yeah, so that's what I had. That snare drum. I had the 8-lug Acro with the Imperials. It sounded really good.
Were you doing a recording there, or what?
Well, what we did was I had my camera behind me, and the mics on those iPhones are pretty good.
Yeah, they are.
And from behind the drums, I think that's the optimal sound. You really hear especially the drums. The cymbals are going to have or wherever the cymbals will be recorded, no matter.
You really hear the stick, the contact.
Yeah, right. And then Mitch used his. He has I think he had an SM7 microphone sort of in the middle of the room, kind of aimed toward me and more toward the bass. But then he also had one of those things that has like the
XY
little handheld thing.
little stereo.
So, so we had the audio from mine and the stereo from him, which you heard. It was more of a room sound, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that was a little degraded because it came from an iPhone to an Android.
Well, here, I don't know what I did with my phone. Happened. Yeah, give me 2 seconds. Here, we're still talking. For crying out loud. All right. So
that's cool. So you were in the studio. That was, you know.
But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to book some more time with Jax. He's the fella that runs the joint. I'm going to bring my drums. I'm going to record some more tracks. Then I'm recording just the track in my head. I can do 2 things. I can
Is this for original music?
Totally my original Terry Keating stuff.
Oh, cool.
So there's 2 things I can do. I can sit and I can record myself as I'm singing while I play, so I have a record of it.
Right.
But what I can also do is it's almost like, you know how it is. If you make up a track, 3-minute track, you almost remember it. You can almost rewrite music to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I think I'm going to do.
Do you ever just do like a demo recording yourself but playing real soft? You know what I mean? Like you just even like putting towels on or just playing real quiet just so you have a reference rhythm track.
Yeah, that's...
And then you
overdrum the drums later.
Yeah, and then add the drums later.
Well, yes, and it's great. But you know what you can also do too? I've been fooling around with this too.
He's up again.
No, I'm serious. I've been fooling around with this too. It's like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, the prince's story in his words.
Yes, oh my
fascinating.
God. Well, live loves people. But what I'm saying is, I could also make a 3-minute track like this.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, just like
Careful of Harry's face. This is gonna be. By the way, that just totally peaked out the microphones, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
I will adjust that. I will adjust that in post-production.
No. But so what I'm saying is make a groove track and then add the drums last.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
great. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing. But the whole tracks will be filled up with my voice.
Here, I'll do one track, and then you can use this. You can write a song.
Absolutely, do it right now.
So this one.
This is what I'd sing. My mama said to me, "Son, what you eating?" My mother said to me, "Let someone in there to do." I was going to make a play on the son, open the door and give somebody else a chance.
It's easy, everyone.
No, but it is.
No. Well, you know what? What's interesting is... Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
what's interesting is it's a really organic way of writing a song.
Yeah, right. It
is like thinking about because we're drummers, I don't write songs, but if I did, having a rhythm track, for us, I think it almost comes more I would assume it comes more naturally than like sitting at the piano or,
Totally.
So for you as a drummer, I can totally understand why you want to do this thing where you have a mic, you play, and then you riff ideas, and then save the nuggets that are golden.
Well, the key is for me too. Is I always when I would listen to record, like I was very I used to listen to recordings back in the day, and the thing is, there's mistakes in recordings, but there's not mistakes in recordings. You know what I mean? Like there's
that's pretty philosophical.
No. What I'm saying is, and let's say we're talking about rock and roll. We're not talking about jazz. We're talking about like rock and pop. You listen to Stone stuff, of course. There's certain things you see, speed ups and slow downs.
Yeah.
There's that infamous Green Day song, "When I Come Around," dum dum ba dum bum bum bum. The drummer is times all over the place there. But when you listen to the tempo can change, but it's like you don't hear an objectively wrong note.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean,
well, that all depends, I think, on the quality of the music and the musicians.
Well, true, but I'm talking about
what I mean. Even like little glitches or a wrong note in a chord or a slight speed. Like for example, the Jeff Beck tune that I did, Scatterbrain. When I was playing along with it, I was getting really frustrated because I was getting off at times when I was rehearsing it. And I thought, what the hell is going on? And then I realized it maybe intentionally, it's speeding up. And it really picks up, so by the end, there's a pause in the song, and then they go back to the groove. So there's like this trippy little... Beck's playing all this, bending the strings. And then the drums...
Now, do you pick up the exact same tempo you stopped at, or is it back?
No, it's faster.
It's faster even
and it feels like it's speeding up, and I just, whether or not that was intentional, it might be intentional because of the vibe of the song.
Yeah, right.
But you hear that a lot.
It certainly wasn't frowned upon.
You hear that a lot in a lot of music that was recorded without a click.
Mm-hmm.
There's a certain excitement that comes, energy thing, and it might cause it to speed up a little.
Yeah, right.
Or like Ian Pace in an interview, I remember hearing him talk about how Bonham, he said Bonzo did that thing, and he was talking about what he also thought of. There was a concept of playing a verse versus a chorus.
Yeah, right.
Where like the chorus pushes a little
bit,
and the verse you kind of pull back.
Yeah,
it's not just dynamics. It's not just like verses.
It's where
quieter.
You place in the beat.
It's where your attitude.
Just
I always call that attitude.
Well, yeah, and
there's a saying that Miles Davis said. I just want to say because I think it's a great saying.
Yeah.
He said, 80%. Now, of course, I can't remember. He said something like 80%. He said it isn't so much the note; it's like 80% of it is the attitude of the motherfucker playing it.
Yeah,
so
well, that's their fingerprint.
It's their voice fingerprint.
Pattern,
exactly.
It's their fingerprint.
It's like a blues lick or a blues scale. Somebody could play a blues lick. They play the same 4 notes, and it sounds correct.
Yeah.
But someone else with a lot of attitude plays those same exact 4 notes, and it's a whole other world.
Well, and the palette, there's the tone, the intensity. If they're playing the exact same pattern,
and it's the elasticity.
There's the time of where they fall in relation to each other.
Right.
And that's the thing, like a metronome and a click track is helpful, especially for practicing.
Yeah.
And there are styles that it suits too, like especially when you like drum machines and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, so much stuff wouldn't sound good. It would sound different if it wasn't to a jung jung chaka chika jung jung cha jung jung taka taka jung jung chaka chika jung the whole time. 4 minutes of this,
dancing,
jung chaka chika, right? But the thing is that. It's not an accident that sometimes when you listen to symphonies and stuff, the song, you don't have all the musicians like, all right, everybody, we're at 118,
right,
and you could. But what I'm saying is like if you, this is what I always say, is like listen to the intro of the Queen song, what's the famous one, where they went through the tape so many times they could see through it or some bullshit, which is true, I'm sure, let me say. But Mamma Mia,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, when that song first starts, if that was to a click track, if somebody went to a studio now, just the way it is, and people didn't think about it, they'd play the song a couple times, and they'd dump it, and eventually the engineer and the producer would be like, okay, this is it.
Loud.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So what we're gonna do? Okay, let's put it that, and then play the whole song. So if they did that, this kid who wrote the song would be inclined to go like this: Is this the real thing? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a bad to escape to reality. But that's not how it is.
Right.
Is this the real thing?
Is
this identity?
Right.
And then out of nowhere kind of goes, that's intentional. That's the orchestration.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is there's a lot of people I think these days that the use of time is part of your palette. Kind of where they just sit and how you do it. You know what I mean?
Totally, yeah.
And
the fact that it's elastic is what makes it feel good.
Yeah.
Generally. I mean, there's a way, of course, like practicing with a metronome. You can practice with a metronome and practice elasticity with a metronome.
Exactly.
And that's an important thing to be able to do.
Well, what it is
to play along with a click, but to maybe play just on the back end.
Totally, or make the beacon like you slide it.
Or play a fill. Or play a fill that kind of has a little bit of a push.
Yeah, right.
And then, but you're going to land on that pop, right on that click.
No, and there's an art to it.
So there's a skill.
And that's the thing.
There's definitely a skill.
There's a skill and indeed an art to playing to a click.
But
what sometimes to a lot of people when they say click, what a lot of people want to hear is this. Doom da doom doom da dugga 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 doom doom da. Not using it as a beacon where like you're not laying a grid out, you're using it as a beacon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like okay, well we don't want to rot, use and then I play to it. Okay, I'm gonna get a little ahead here and then maybe for a bar and a half it's doom doom. Like you have a little bit of ghosting, but the thing is you keep the ghosting there. You're still playing the same distance from where you were, so the tempo is the same. And then you can slowly make your way back if you want to make the one.
So that's the elasticity. That would be that, and that's a way of imposing that upon a click.
Yeah, right.
Which is the way a lot of music was made without a click.
No,
there's
totally
some
right.
fluctuation. What did you think about that when the levee breaks thing? That remember when I sent you and it has the guide, the tempo guide.
Oh, you know
like I wonder. I'd like to talk to someone from the recording industry from that era who knew, because that sound, that doop doop doop.
Well, it almost sounds like
a metronome.
Feedback. But it is the tempo of the song. I know.
No, it is. Yeah, it's like an old-fashioned metronome that gets run through into the studio.
So do you think what they did was this Bonham? Okay, what you're going to start with this? We're going to pull
Here's
it out.
the tempo.
Yeah.
And they went do do do.
Oh wait,
do,
no,
boom, and then he comes in with the beat.
They, in a certain way, they had to do that. Do you know why?
No.
It just dawned on me
to cue it up for.
It just dawned on me right now why they did that. When they set the delay and the echo, it's set to a tempo. It would start to sound muddy. You need it to be synchronized at least somewhat on the front end, because otherwise it would be like doom doom, like you wouldn't have the doom. Yes, that is why.
That could be it. It could be the echo rec or whatever.
Yeah, the echo rec, the device that indeed was used. People think
I'm talking out my ass now because I don't know the studio stuff so well.
So
maybe it was like with an echo rec, you had to set a tempo guide so that it would stay go 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 go, so it wouldn't be flamming, or it would be the correct echo.
It could have even been. But they also could use the Binson echo rec. There's something you could do the Binson echo rec
that has like a tempo,
or a feedback. Do something, it would feed back. It would start going, chung, 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 chung.
Right.
And what that is that, chung, 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 chung.
That's exactly. That's the sound.
So instead of hearing, you hear, chung, chung, chung. Yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he was able to play, but you can hear a total slowdown in the, when you listen to it when the levee breaks, it goes, doom. Da, doom, doom, da, doom, da, doom.
Like that he settles into it?
Yeah, and then da, doom. After it goes off from it, you can sort of hear it just a teeny bit sort of settle.
As many times as we've all listened to it and then played along with it, you can hear it's elastic. Yeah.
But
that's the magic of his feel.
But you know what the coolest part is? My favorite point of when the levee breaks is the part where it goes la 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 la, and Bonham's playing along, and he goes boom 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 ba boom boom ba boom 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 ba boom ba. He does that boom boom ba boom ba boom. That. But then the neat thing is when you hear that other version of when the levee breaks, that's the fanfare. They do that like over and over again. Da 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 da.
Right. The faster version.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love that. That's awesome. But
and his foot is playing all the 16ths.
Well, that's the thing. That's got to be what that noise is. That blew my mind when I heard that.
Yeah.
Because at first I thought it was going to be somebody. You know how there's a lot of things on YouTube. If you look for a guitarless track, they take any old recording, which is whatever, and on the front of it you'll hear. And that's what I thought maybe. I thought it was just going to be like maybe like. Down, be like, well, that's not, you know what I mean? But that's genuine.
That's the next PFOZ cover, I think. I think that's the next PFOZ cover. That's it's been done for a while, but we're hoping to get it out sometime soon. But I played it on the steel kit.
No, that's the steel kit, man. And people I know, they always want to tour that and stuff. But you know what you got to do? So we got to keep this moving along because I'll keep yapping. I'm a big yapper. I have my Amber Vista lights, which George is at some point going to borrow. And George, I think you would do the world a great service if you. So take the vinyl.
Vinyl?
No, imagine the vinyl 1976 Songwriting system.
Oh.
Put it on. Be like, hey, everybody, there's candles in there. And it starts.
Put it on a turntable. That's how I used to play along.
And walk over to the drums, look at the camera, and say, and you'll hear it. There's the cue.
This is my production.
Right, let's go, and just go along with it.
Yeah.
Play the whole first side, as it is on the record. Stop and sit back. Be like, how do you like them apples, motherfucker? Flip it over, and then you do what would come next? With no quarter stairway? Is that how that worked?
I don't remember. Put me in.
So then you sit there, and then at the end of that, you sit back, and then it's still dark and stuff. Have a sip of scotch, flip over to side 3, play along to that flawlessly, and then
you saw it here.
No, and then you at the very end, you know the end of Whole Lot of Love.
The only problem with that is playing along with Moby. You can't play along with Moby Dick.
No, but what you do is you'd have to do...
virtually impossible.
You get a pass for Moby Dick.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I mean, what I was thinking of doing is doing a full show, full play along, and use like a bootleg recording like I normally do.
Oh, yeah, right. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
but just kick out a whole 2.5 hour show.
Well, that certainly would be more challenging. See, I'm amazed that you can do that.
Well,
even, you know what I mean?
Again, you got to be doing it all the time, and I'm not.
Well, you got to hit all the salient points, right? You're like, somebody would definitely notice from the show, if that one fell at Before the Bridge, I have to hit that one. Some of the other things...
Yeah, that's usually what I do, is try to memorize, bits. But yeah, I would love to borrow that kit.
Totally. You know what the thing is? To me, I prefer... I love the sound of Zeppelin on the thermos, when you hear like the 6970 and the way it sounds rich and stuff. Yeah. But there's really something to me about the sound of the Vistas in the 73, 75. It's a different animal.
It is.
It's really like bing bang. And if you ever isolate, you listen to it and out of context, you're like, God, that's kind of binky. But in the context of it, it's just...
Floor time goes doing.
Oh, yeah, totally. Boom, 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 boom.
So, okay, let me say something.
Yeah.
A good record, a good recording, to listen to the sound of the Vista lights recorded on a soundboard, like real clear, but like not real dry, is the San Francisco Kezar Stadium, 1973. That soundboard recording, it's only the end of the show. It's it's like Moby Dick through the end. So Moby Dick, I can't remember if, was Stairway before Moby Dick or after? I don't think Stairway's on it. I think it's Moby Dick, Whole Lot of Love, Heartbreaker, Communication Breakdown. It's like the encore.
Yeah.
It's from Moby Dick out. So anyway, with Moby Dick, it's all recorded on the soundboard, on that tape. You can really hear the tone of the toms and the the floor tom tones, especially the 18. Yeah. Like it's almost like it's up in the mix.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Well, that's one of the first gigs, kind of, right? Relatively a month into it.
Well, no. Because that was
May 2nd.
Yeah, no, you're right. A month into it. It was like June 2nd or June 3rd.
But you notice they look so new there. When you see those the shots.
Yeah.
They're like fucking right.
Yeah.
They're so shiny.
Oh, they're like orange, lifesavers.
Yeah. And remember the original inlay on those hoops was a metallic gold.
Yeah, or was it metallic gold?
Metallic gold, and then they went to gold sparkle.
So Bonzos are metallic gold?
Metallic gold.
Oh,
remember when they did the silk, gold silk? It's the gold silk. Remember the red silk?
Oh, yeah.
Silk?
Yeah.
They used the gold silk.
Oh, that's cool.
For like 2 or 3 years or whatever. Yeah,
that's cool.
I swear to God.
Yeah. Hey, look, I think we're going to need to get some.
Yeah, we got to get some food, so we'll put this on pausing.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Wrapping it up.
Let's go eat.
Pausing Tony.